What's up, everyone? My name is Michael DeLu. All right, and I want to thank you for even clicking on this episode of my podcast. Before I get to the episode, I would just like to ask that if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, comment on the video because it helps me tremendously in obtaining my long-term goals. All right, enjoy the episode. Let's go! All right, so my name is Michael DeLu, and today is episode 66 of PullUpDaTape. Today is Wednesday, June 30th. Kind of a sad day for me because of all the stuff that's about to happen, but nevertheless, I'm really excited to get this podcast going, get this shit started, and I'll save my news for the end of the episode. So, Two things I want to discuss today. It's going to be a short, maybe like 15 to 20-minute podcast. So the Atlanta Hawks, who the fuck would have thought at the beginning of the season that the Atlanta Hawks would be Atlanta Hawks, who their best player last night wasn't even on their roster. Who would have thought the Atlanta Hawks would be 2 games away from the NBA Finals? 2 games. So that was the aftermath of what happened yesterday in State Farm Arena. So the Hawks beat the Bucks 110-88. Lemon pepper Lou. Let me get a lemon pepper order, please. You got to get the link before you order these. Lou Williams, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 7 of 9 from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3. Extremely efficient night from Lemon Pepper Lou. Extremely efficient. Bogdanovich, I don't know what happened. Yesterday he woke up. He was up. He was locked and loaded. He was hitting threes and he was tripping on shit. Bogdanovich. Holla at me, baby. What's up? Yes, sir. Kevin Huerter, 15 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. 7 of 15 from the field and 1 of 7 from 3? That doesn't sound right. 1 of 7. It says 1 of 7 from 3. I don't know if I believe that. Maybe I might have recorded the box score wrong. Clint Capella, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 of 7 from the field. Cam Reddish, 12 rebounds. No, not 12 rebounds. I apologize. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3. And it was, the craziest, I was not expecting the Hawks to put on a performance like that because of the simple fact that they were playing without their best player, which is Trae Young. And it's funny because yesterday, I never said this because I'm not going to say I don't agree or all that nonsense or stuff like that. But what I will say is I don't think anyone gave the Hawks a chance to win a game without Trae Young. I mean, if I never said it, but if I would have put money on it, I'm not betting on the Hawks winning a game without Trae Young, but that's what happened, and it was quite obvious, because the Hawks led the whole game. The Hawks led the whole game. I think the closest it got was about 7 or 8 points, but the thing is, I don't know if and it was announced that Trae Young wasn't going to play probably let's say 10, 15 minutes before tip-off. And I don't know if the Bucks heard that or saw that and they thought, oh, we don't have to play hard. We don't have to play intense. We don't have to. I don't know what exactly they were thinking or what was going on in all these players' head, but that didn't make any sense. It was quite obvious that whatever sense of urgency that the Bucks had in Game 3, they did not bring to Game 4. They were down the whole game. I'm gonna get it to them because it clearly didn't make any sense. I gave credit to where credit is due. Lou Williams showed up. Bogdanovich, he arose from wherever the fuck he was at. He looked healthy as fuck last night. He was banging threes. He was turning up. He had energy, hitting threes and turning up. Played good on defense. Look. Honestly, it had been several games because this whole series, from games 1 to 3, he's played terrible to the point where the last time I talked about the Hawks, I said Nate McMillan needs to cut his minutes. needs to cut his minutes because he's not it. He's not doing good, and I understood why because of an injury. But thankfully, it seems like he's back to normal. Hopefully, he can repeat this type of performance for the next game. Hopefully. And again, Lou Williams, man. Like, did the Bucks forget? Like, do they not realize how good of a player he actually is? Lou Williams' main knock on his career and in the postseason is he's a defensive liability. On the offensive end, he's an issue. He's an issue. Lou Williams has always been an issue, and he's still one to this day. Like, I don't even I don't want to say that the Bucks should have gave Lou Williams the same respect that they give Trae Young, but I mean, he can do the same things that Trae Young can. He can, in terms of scoring, he can do the same things Trae Young can. Pull up from three, he got those. Floater, he got those. Mid-range, he got those. A lot of people struggle to stay in front of Lou Williams. He is a really great player, and I mean, it was quite evident in yesterday's game. Very evident in yesterday's game. Very, very evident. So props to the Hawks for handling business. Now it's time to rip on the fucking Bucks. Jesus Christ. Drew Holiday had 19 points, 9 assists. Solid numbers, but didn't shoot efficiently from the field. He was 6 of 17, 2 of 7 from 3. Chris Middleton. Oh, my God. Chris Middleton only scored 2 more points than Giannis and played 12 more minutes than Giannis did. Chris Middleton had 16 points and 8 rebounds, shot 6 of 17 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Like, what the hell? What is that? Chris. Like, oh, my God. Every time I want to give Chris Middleton, like, last time I talked about the Hawks, I was shouting out Chris Middleton because he came to play. But obviously, Chris Middleton, I don't know what goes on in Chris Middleton's mind, in his head. Just some days he's like, I'm gonna turn it on. Other days he's like, oh yeah, I'm not coming to work. I'm gonna put on my jersey, but I'm not gonna come to work today. Like, that's I honestly wonder, like, what the hell is he thinking? Why is he playing like this? Chris, 6 of 17, 0 of 7 from 3, 0 of 7 from 3. That's unacceptable. That's atrocious. That is a horrific effort. You should never, bro. Oh, my God. Chris Middleton. Chris Stiffer Middleton. Don't do this. Don't turn me into that. Chris Middleton, don't turn me into that. I do not want to do that to you. Chris Middleton, don't turn me into that. Hey, man, hey, get it together. Giannis had 14 points and 8 rebounds. 7 of 10 from the field before going down with the hyperextended knee. And I don't know exactly what the Bucks' game plan was, but taking 39 threes and only hitting 8 of them is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Like unacceptable. I can't emphasize enough how unacceptable and how atrocious that is. That is not Bucks basketball. That is not Bucks basketball at all. Chris Middleton is just too inconsistent for me. I don't know. Some games he shows up, some games he's not. There's really, like, it's literally one or the other. There's no, like, oh, he played all right. It's literally either he has a good game or a bad game, and I'm over that shit. The Bucks offensively just were not there in yesterday's game. They didn't bring the same style of basketball they brought in Game 3 and the same style of basketball that got them all the way to this point. And I can't even say Giannis going down as an excuse. They were down by 10 when Giannis went down. And the way they were playing, I'm not too sure if they would have even won. The Bucks got a cop out by losing, by Giannis getting hurt, and they still lose. But regardless, if Giannis was playing, I don't know if they still would have won that game. Because they weren't there. They couldn't stop anything. They couldn't stop anything. Defense was atrocious. They were getting dragged left and right. On offense, they didn't push the ball. They didn't execute the way they usually execute. And one of the things I noticed is, like, why wasn't the Hawks didn't have a primary ball handler in the game. Like, Trae Young wasn't there, so why aren't you picking up the ball handler and trying to get steals to create more opportunities on offense? You could obviously tell the Bucks thought this shit was going to be a cakewalk because Trae Young's not playing, and that's why they got smacked in the fucking mouth. Next, England beat Germany for the first time in 55 years in a major tournament. I didn't even know it was that long. 55 years? Woo! It makes sense to why they and also I think it's a little unfair that that England. I honestly think it's unfair that England gets to play in front of their home crowd. Like, let's really talk about that. I love England. I love the Premier League. England has multiple Chelsea players playing for them. But why does England get to play in front of their home crowd? Why do they get to play knockout phase games in front of their home crowd? That has to be unfair. I don't know. Somebody comment, like, those of you guys who do watch soccer, please let me know if you guys think that's unfair, because I personally think that's unfair. I don't know. A lot of the starting 11 that Gareth Southgate picked forced a lot of pundits into questions like, oh, what the fuck is he thinking? He started off the game with he selected 5 defenders and two defensive center mids in Declan Rice, and I can't remember the other guy's name. And obviously, a lot of people had issues with that lineup, and the only attacking players were Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane, and Bukayo Saka. But I'm here to say Southgate got it right with his lineup, and then he also got it right with his substitute in Jack Grealish, man. Jack Grealish came on and looked like fucking Andres Iniesta. Like, he was all over the place. Jack Grealish looked like the best midfielder in the world in yesterday's game. Honestly, the entire England team looked incredibly good yesterday's game. So I honestly have to salute them. Shout out to England. Like, a lot has been said because they're playing. I can't remember off the top of my head who won between not Slovakia, Ukraine and Sweden. I believe it was Sweden. That England have a very favorable route to the finals, which I don't really think there's any such thing as favorable, because the way soccer works and the game of football works, nothing's really. If that's the case, everybody would be like, you could pencil in who's going to win every game, but that's not how life works. Like, you have to go out and execute and play these games, and sometimes, like, for example, England could think, oh, we got an easy road now. Go out there, put together a half-ass effort in a game, send home. So it's still left to see. We got to wait and see. And one thing I want to say about Gareth Southgate, props to him for selecting Jack Grealish as a substitute, because immediately he was brought on, he made an impact. 5 minutes after he was brought on, Raheem Sterling opens up the scoring and gets a great goal. And one thing that needs to be said about Raheem Sterling, I know he didn't come into the tournament with incredible form because, towards the end of the season last year, towards the end of the season for Manchester United, he had terrible games, and the Champions League final might have been the worst game I've ever seen him play. Shout out to you, Reece James, for being the reason that happened, because Raheem Sterling was inside Reece James' pocket the whole game. And shout out to Gareth Southgate for believing in him and giving him the run that he honestly deserves. Shout out to Raheem Sterling for finally but shout out to Raheem Sterling, honestly. He should be given a lot more respect. He has 3 goals in this tournament, and he may not obviously, like I said, he didn't come in at his best, but he's giving his best all for England this tournament for sure. And one of the things I want to point out is, goddamn, Thomas Mueller. Damn it. Thomas Mueller had a one-on-one chance with Jordan Pickford. And Thomas Mueller decided that he wanted to put on his best Timo Werner impersonation, because what he did in the 80th minute is what I saw Timo Werner do over and over and over and over and over and over and over again at Chelsea this past season. I seen Timo Werner do that multiple times. Not 1, not 2, not 3, definitely not 4, not 5. 8 or 9 times I've seen him smoke one-on-ones with the keeper. It might be a German. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was horrible. And football is defined by moments. You don't get many. You know, hey, a one-on-one with the keeper is probably going to happen like once, maybe twice in the entire game of football. One-on-one with the keeper is going to happen once, maybe twice. Once, maybe twice with the keeper. Once, maybe twice. When you get that, a player like Thomas Mueller, who's won a World Cup, who's scored over 20 goals per season, who's been the Young Player of the Year in the 2010 World Cup. That's a goal he has to put in. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Oh no. And he knew it himself that he fucked up. And then minutes after that, Harry Kane puts the game away with his goal. And that was game. Salute to England. They played incredible. Poor performance from Mueller. Poor performance from Timo Werner. Amazing game by Jordan Pickford. Shout out to him. He made some incredible saves. And in all, England deserved this win. No questions asked. And that concludes today's episode. I want to thank everybody who has supported me in the month of June. My podcast has really taken off since June 4th when I released the rant about Kyle Kuzma. I really want to thank everybody. But today is the conclusion of, not the conclusion of my podcast, but today I'm moving out of the studio that I'm recording in. I've been recording, since the start of my podcast, I've been recording in my studio since honestly the start of my podcast. But my lease ends today at the studio. So as soon as I end this podcast, I will be wrapping up. I will be packing up all my stuff, moving it into storage as I'm still figuring out exactly where I'm going to move my studio to. I still have to, there's still some places I still need to check out. And then once I do find that place, I'm going to sign the lease. But unfortunately, until then, you will not see my handsome face. You will not get this. There will be YouTube videos, but it's just going to be audio. Same thing, audio on podcasts as well. But my face will not be visible until I am fully moved into my new studio and have my setup just like this. I want it to be perfect before I start recording again. But don't worry about it. Nevertheless, I will still be recording. You'll only just hear my voice. It is what it is. I just genuinely want to thank and appreciate everybody who supported me. I do have some podcasts. I do have some appearances on other podcasts coming up. I'm really excited about that. I do have appearances on other shows. I'm really excited about that. My DMs have been flooded with invites and whatever. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if I don't have any videos up of me actually speaking, you can check me out on other people's podcasts. I'll put the link or whatever for you guys to find those. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for the immense support that I received in the month of June. I genuinely do appreciate this shit from the bottom of my heart. All the comments, all the likes, all the subscribes. I really do appreciate that shit. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon. Whoa.